What if you were tasked with running a tavern that had to look after both pirates and sailors who didn't like each other much? Well, today, my friends, I'm going to be doing just that. Tavern Master has blessed me with the opportunity to live as a pirate serving legend of the high seas, from serving up the best grog to sailing away for the plunders of shores afar. Today, we crack on and take a walk on the watery side. Take a seat, grab your beverage of choice, and let's get stuck in to Tavern Master as a pirate legend. As always, what is a game without a basic tutorial to get you going? The DLC offers this cool new shipbuilding mechanic where the objective is to go out on expeditions, get loot, and upgrade the bad boy. We had to firstly hire up our first pirates to help. Then we got stuck into the first expedition to unlock a new drink called grog. Each mission had a power requirement and takes a certain duration to complete too. We kicked it off, and then we were instructed to ensure one of the chefs was then able to cook the required meals to set sail. I changed one of the chefs to do just that, and the basics of the tutorial were done. I continued by doing the basic little quests it mentioned, like topping up booze. Like any good sim builder, a crafty name is required. We shall name the place Let's Peg. I then got straight into the nitty gritty and hired my very first bartender called Rob, and a new waitress called Brienne. I fiddled for a sec and then went all in to fill up the rum cabinet to the brim. The booze in this one is cheaper, that's for sure. Now, there are two types of customers, pirates and sailors it seems. I had to think straight toward just earning more cash for now though, and it's worth mentioning that we're extremely limited on the actual stuff we could purchase for a bit. I did an equal amount of both pirates and sailors, keeping in mind the separation that was already laid out. Then, I officially kicked off the first proper day where customers could come and see what we're all about. I took a moment to familiarise myself with both the new meals on the menu and the treasure opportunities that can come from the expeditions. Collecting one of each means we can sell it for 20k gold. Out on the ship, I took a quick look at the upgrades and also realised you can't hire more pirates whilst another expedition is active. I noticed that the expedition prep was ready, so I sent our pirate on her way to hopefully bring home that juicy grog. Back in the tavern, I decided to make do with the real basic decor we had and ensured a nice little wooden pattern was added to the tops, and concrete outside. I watched over the place as all the tables were practically full and our workers slaved away, making sure all were happy. Now, I almost forgot that we could also add some slightly better flooring in, so I slapped some down, segmenting the kitchen a little, and topped up my rum. A glorious parrot picture followed on by even more rickety wooden tables, again ensuring that both sides are the same, just for a bit. The end of the first proper day was here, and the red was scary to look at, to be honest. The next day though, the mission was ready for me to collect, which unlocked the grog, and also netted me some treasure, meaning we had one of the 6 pieces. My fish dish had also hit 1 star, I signed a new chef to help out, leveled up Ada, leveled up Rob the bartender, and got stuck into hiring up more pirates to help with the missions. Now we had Annabelle and Gale, giving a small buff to power, but 1 more is needed I think. Hello Sterling. In the pub I got 2 more benches bought and realised I could change the colour of the ship, red and black, as always. Next, I switched one of the drinks cabinets over to grog and spent 72 gold to top it up, followed by also topping up the rum again. The day was an impressive success with 503 gold in the green. I look now towards my first netting decoration, then watched over my kitchen and bar staff like a hawk to see how they were getting on. Miss Brenner comes in for a promotion, levelling her speed whilst carrying, then the tomato broth hits 1 star, so did my glorious apple pie, and lastly, Brienne levelled up. My cash was ready to splash on a small storage upgrade on my ship, which gave me enough power to start the next expedition prep too. I saw there was a decoration that was like a little notice board thing, so I put one up by the front door, topped up some drinks, and my day finished out on a negative. It's okay though. In the morning, I had enough rep to raise my drink prices a tiny bit, and also had finished all the prep for the expedition. It was time to pay and set sail, baby. Gale the chef had worked hard, earning a level up. Then I spent a good chunk of my dollar just buying food ingredients, unfortunately. The end of the day definitely didn't show much promise. To cheer myself up, I decided to go walkabouts and see firsthand what the place looks like on the ground. We had served enough to level the fish main to 2 stars, and also completed the expedition, earning a new cinnamon rolls recipe. I cracked on straight into prepping the next expedition to earn more customers, then decided to spend some cash on a couple of banners at the front door and top up my meat. The day came to a close and was a profit too. To celebrate, I decorated the whole outside of the tavern. I also had enough gold to get on and sail away from these shores. I love just admiring, as always, the chatter, the fun, the booze, all of it. It's great. My tomato broth had earned its 2-star stamp. I topped up the drink shelves and then finished the day out with a tidy profit. It was the time, and not the only time I would be shuffling the place around to satisfy my ever-changing need to look nicer. Over and over, I twiddled and fiddled the tables to scratch an itch I had and bought in a new longer one too. It was a stormy day, but the tavern was still filling up nicely on my new long benches. And with that, the expedition had completed, earning me a +7 guests for the day. Just like that though, the ship needed another storage upgrade to increase the power output, and more prep for the next one had begun. Brienne, the lady of the hour, had earned a cheeky level up, and I was also cheeky because I lowered her salary after. Brutal, I know. My rainy day had finalised and the balance books were looking okay. I think the staff got excited too, as we had level ups from Brenna, Ada, Rob the chef, and Abraham the chef too. Oh yes, the time is now, baby. We sail away, lads, to new shores. I wasn't hyped for too long though, as my day finished out pretty red. It had reached the afternoon with nothing much happening the next day, so I decided to just watch over the glorious lot as they ran around in the kitchen, earning me the gold I needed, topping up drinks as I go. My cinnamon rolls got a lovely little upgrade to 1 star, and then Rob the bartender had earned himself a promotion, leveling his speed. Lastly, I needed to hire up yet another waitress to keep on top of demand. Then we were met with an absolute glorious end to the day, with just nearly 1k profit. I made sure to top up all the food and drinks before cracking into the next day. I placed a new light, then got stuck straight into the nitty-gritty of the grind. Fishy Dishy hit 3 stars, and a whopping surprise of a profit to the end of the day too. Now, I was met with the expedition completing, and each time I'm praying that the juicy treasure is found alongside it. Problem is, we only have a 5% chance of finding any currently. We didn't get so lucky this time, but did land a whole chicken meal. I decided to take things into my own hands and hire up some more sailors to assist. And then I bought the next ship upgrade that I could afford. This finally allowed me to start the next prep straight away. It didn't take long for that to finish up, and I was sailing away before long, costing me another 540 gold. An anchor decoration for the toilet, because why not? And a quick lick of paint. Things are coming along nicely, I would say. You are probably thinking that the days are ending without much profit, but fear not. I have plans, I promise. Part of those plans involve me spending a bunch of time realigning the tables once again, buying a big fat long boy, and furnishing out the seating to fit in. It's quite therapeutic just to try and figure out how you want to get the damn tables to look. At least for me anyway. I promise I'll try not to make prison rows this time. Times must move on though, and I'm in the market for some more waitresses. Also, the tomato broth had already made it to 3 stars. Gale, you need to chill out mate, because I genuinely can't keep up with the promotions. Next, I had completed the expedition, which unlocked a wonderful new table style for us to have some more fun with finally. I claimed that sucker and then ended a day with over 800 gold profit to gloat about. Hoi hoi, the whole chicken has hit 1 star. Then I dismissed a rubbish pirate in favour of someone new and with better stats called Landolf. I had also got enough coins to buy some cannons for the ship, and that took me over the threshold to go ahead and prep for unlocking the next expedition for the beautiful white wine. Day's end hits me once more, and unfortunately, it isn't bearing good news. Times move on though, and I slap in a new picture and a new rope wall. Lastly, fiddling my costs again. My apple pie has now reached its 3 stars mark, and I'm once again able to sail away for the low price of 560 coins to go and get that delicious wine. Brenna earns a level up at her review, and it was an easy choice to lower her salary before accepting. Naughty, I know, but they're stupid enough to accept this world we live in. Then we ended out the day with just under 200 gold profit, which isn't bad considering we went sailing again. My mind was moving towards some extra expanded floor areas now, and the fun shall begin. I topped up all my shelving drink units, bought a third one for the wine, and the cinnamon rolls leveled up to 2 stars too. Before I knew it, the expedition had completed, and I had netted the new white wine drink for the place. I claimed that sucker and got straight to work on the next expedition that had found its way to me. I went to the new drinks cabinet and made sure to select the white wine, then paid 144 gold to fill it to the brim. I actually really liked the drinks cabinet designs with the DLC. Did somebody say something fishy was going on? Dad jokes aside, I've made enough money to move forward with more expansions to the outer walls, all the way along the back wall, then decided on the first floor that needed to go in. Lastly, I decided on the stone outer decoration stuff, as it's quite frankly all I have. Quick as a flash, the day was over and the losses were us to see. It didn't matter though, as the whole chicken was leveling up to 2 stars, and I also had earned enough to sail away again to earn a new food recipe. I had to now start to really think on how I was going to design the place going forward, which started with me stripping away the walls. Ready. The day had also ended out once again, but this time with something that looked like we were doing okay. I took the time to go ahead and get all of the kitchen equipment moved around to fit the new room, and then used the front space to lay the walls for the expanded seating area that was to come. After some minor adjustments, I also thought to get the toilet area moved to the back, allowing us a more open area to work with for now. I stripped the area clean and redecorated the new toilets, ready to go. The fun doesn't stop there though. Oh no. Lighting for all, followed by some more tables for the pirates. And the day has ended, and even still, profit after all the work that I did. Money problems aside though, it was time to keep pushing forward with some semblance of a nice area to sit in. So I got the tables rearranged and then purchased up some of the new barrel seats. With all the work happening, a good chunk of time had passed too, meaning we had completed the expedition. This time I was very lucky to find a new treasure piece for the collection too, with only a 9% chance. The raisin cookies are good also. I quickly moved on to the next expedition as our power levels were already high enough. After, I looked to the kitchen first to give the upper walls some flavour, and decided I liked it enough to make the whole tavern the same for now. This day was an incredible one for the profit, and the extra table seemed to be working wonders. I moved on though, topping up all of my goodies and ingredients. Then I noticed that the food prep was all done and ready to sail. I paid the price and got them straight to work. Then purchased the new round table and chairs, and the tomato broth was now leveled to 4 stars. Ka-ching, I will say, for this day was done. I was so excited that the expedition was home, unlocking yet another recipe for us to add to the menu. This is a big thing though, because each recipe increases the amount of customers per day, so I'm able to increase prices further. I got in one more table and some basic decoration, and then was able to fiddle the drink prices because of the new stuff I was talking about. Ignore the huge negative for now though, yeah? Raisin cookies are also reaching the 1-star mark, and the drinks are topped up. Ka-ching, my friends. Ka-ching. Alright, a new day, and honestly, I get so excited as changes begin to unfold. I'm sure you guys do it with all the games like this too, right? It's so fun just to sit, watching all of the time pass by. Moving on though, I need to get myself a new waitress to help out. Well, would you look at that? Enough cash to go ahead and get myself the final small boat upgrade, with some nice side cannons. Now, this did give me some indication of how expensive the next upgrade is though, which honestly just scared me a little. It did give us the power requirements we needed for the next one though, so prep shall begin. One more table purchased, and Fishy is now going to 5 stars. A staggering 2,154 gold negative. Not pondering, I leveled the mushroom broth to 1 star and refilled the drinks cabinets. Just look at them. Look at them, taking in my wonderful yet bare tavern. Drinks are reasonable, and the owner is a beautiful man, or so I'm told. My whole chicken is already hitting 3 stars, and we're a full steam ahead on the expedition to unlock the performers. 1,200 gold for the privilege though. I was feeling good still, so I allowed a promotion of Maria, who honestly could do with being a bit quicker, so that's the training we opted for. Ding ding, the day ends. 118 gold profit still. And a smile, of course. I decided on a couple of rugs going forward, sold off some old decorations, and stripped away the dividing wall. I was going for a more inclusive bar by allowing them to kind of sit together. Moving forward, our ship had arrived home holding our rewards. No treasure though this time, but we did now have the ability to have a band in for a good old sing-song. My prep then began for the unlock of the next phase in the ship life. I got stuck right in with lighting up the whole floor as best I could, and then looked towards a bunch more seating to ramp up our earnings The day ends in the red again, but all is fine. After, it was time to move things around some more, and then actually get in a few more sailor tables so we aren't pirate heavy. I also now had the means to raise drink prices a little more again, increasing the cost of the white wine by 1, then allowing Brenna the promotion she asked for to earn more tips. And lastly, the apple pie has hit 4 stars too. A decent profit at this rate. We would soon be able to afford the ship upgrade in no time at all, eh? We're now ready to sail away and earn that juicy boat upgrade in 3 days' time. Firstly though, let's get the music podium in and waste a bunch of money short term. I went the full shebang and got the full band in, because why not? Rob the barman had been working really hard, so I allowed him a level up, then I kinda watched over him for a bit to make sure it was the right investment. Micromanagey? Yeah, but sometimes I need to be some mini dictator to ensure jobs get done. The end of the day was a huge negative and not great towards the boat upgrade. Here they are, look, in for their first day on the grind to keep my customers happy. Also, partly the reason for our higher overheads, but we can address that later. I moved on, topping up all the drinks and food supplies, and noticed that my raisin cookies had also leveled up to 2 stars, as well as the mushroom broth. Look, I know I said I was saving, but I just can't help myself, and I tried to make the place just looking that little less bare, you know? And for really basic, it does actually look pretty nice for now. It was enough to allow me to fiddle the drink prices again, to be fair, and then the day ended with a plus still, so I can't complain. It was time to soak in the atmosphere from the ground for a bit, stomping around and just getting an overall feel for the place from a customer level. Honestly, on the ground, it does feel pretty good as we walk. It does help me get my creative juices flowing a little bit too. Anyway, I just kept thinking about more spending and got down quite an expensive ship model over by the bookcase, minus 982 gold for my silliness too. In the morning, cinnamon rolls hits 3 stars and tomato broth hits 5 stars. Following that, the big arrival of the new ship unlock was here. My coffers were not ready for it all though, unfortunately. I had whittled my gold down to 1k-ish and had to think with my head and be stern to save for it now. The day was a great one though, and all the expenses seemed to be paying off with a 2.2k gold profit. I topped up everything before cracking into the new day once again. Now, for a while I'd have to suck it up and not touch the gold at all. Just enjoy the atmosphere and all that comes with it. I genuinely just sat there, patiently waiting for the gold stores to grow. And grow it did, at a pretty steady rate. It won't take long, if I'm patient. I spent a little topping up the drinks finally, and ended the day out on another fantastic bit of coin. The next day was all about staring at the earnings and nothing else, earning over 2k once again. I did it again, zooming around impatiently as my gold amounts slowly rose. We were getting there for sure though, but man, I wanted to spend some money, damn it. Another pretty successful day to show for it at least. And straight into the thick of it, topping up resources, and yes, another day gone. Now, we were close to our monetary goal, but the need for more waitresses was apparent. I placed a new spot for one and quickly hired her up to help out. Next, mushroom broth had now reached 3 stars, whole chicken hit 4 stars, and Abram had leveled up, so I trained up his speed skill. And here it is, the 10k gold upgrade finally. Kaboom! Now this one was much bigger, and now we had a whole host of upgrades to consider once again. I now could start the preparation for the next expedition, which would unlock the hotel rooms. Oof, look at the nasty red on the balance sheet. I shall not worry though, because we will be making it back in no time. Let's upgrade and add it to the inn to bring the income up, shall we? I was now ready to sail away for the next 2 days to go and find out how we'd start the hotel business, and then decided I should probably ensure enough toilets were available for ever-growing clientele numbers. What's a toilet without its lovely walls, eh? Plus 766 gold for the day is not bad at all. I used my spare money on some new decorations, then had earned enough prestige to fiddle the drinks prices yet again to bring in the cash, followed by even more plants and random stuff. The place was real busy now, and the kitchen and bar were both booming with life. They all scurried to serve and please the patrons all day. Then my raisin cookies hit 3 stars. You know, a very good haul of cash for the day with all the improvements I spent on too, as well as a promotion for Brienne. Before starting the next day, I spent 2 grand on this ship thing, but it does look nice to be fair. Well into the day though, the expedition was complete, and with it comes the hotel pieces we would need to earn some cash overnight. Honestly though, before moving on, it was time to start prepping to unlock the new floor too. Alright, the time is now to move things out of the way and just get in some simple hotel rooms in the top corner. After a bit of fiddling, I managed to rectangle off 2 separate smaller ones that we could use as a starting bit, with beds, windows, and all that jazz. Once the first room was complete, I went on in to make sure the price was right, up and up until we were at maximum of the green acceptance criteria. Rooms can be more expensive based on decorations, size, and lots of other little bits. I also got in the window on the second hotel room, then slapped in a lick of wallpaper, and chose the ugliest one to be fair. It's not me sleeping in there, so who cares? I chucked in a single bed, a pirate banner, and a dresser, pretty much completing the room. Then the day had finalized, and it was as expected. The next day, I sold the double bed, did some flooring change, shuffled some bits, and replaced with a single bed to have a tiny bit more room in there. Lastly, I capped the price out at 126 gold a night to match the other one. This day was a much nicer finish with plus 1447 gold. I still wasn't done with these hotel rooms, so I made sure they were sorted with the wooden top decoration. Then Rob and Ada both have landed themselves a level up for their hard work. I'd now decided on a completely different top wall design for the rest of the tavern, and made sure to get it all sorted all the way around with the trellis looking wall things. After, it was once again time to expand the setting with another one of the round tables, as it adds a bit more character in my opinion. Yet another great finish on profits, even though we were spending a fair bit. I also placed yet another round table and 4 benches next to the new one, shuffled some decorations around, and bought a brand new island picture. The fun doesn't stop though, and to counter the expansion, I needed more hands on deck, so I hired a new waitress, and without realizing, our expedition had also finished up. I completed that bad boy, unlocking the new tier. I decided to recruit up 2 more pirates to join the squad, and then got stuck straight into the preparation for the next expedition that would unlock some real nice tables. The third day on the bounce that we ended with a decent profit as well. What better way to celebrate than buying some rugs for the hotel rooms and stuff. As our inn was improving all the time, it means I'm able to keep charging more in the rooms as time goes on. Now, I was able to get it up to 137 gold a night. After, I decorated the kitchen a little bit, then got the very first upgrade on the new boat to add some storage barrels to the front. Our preparation had also completely finished, so we'd now be able to sail away for 880 gold. The apple pie finally hit 5 stars, and the cinnamon rolls hit 4 stars too. The day finished off completely as expected, and a hefty minus to the coffers. Here we go once more. Shuffle, shuffle, buy, buy, shuffle some more, and move on. I topped up all the drinks cabinets, and the full day had already passed, completing the expedition and earning the fancy new table style with a cloth cover. I also had enough power to start the next prep straight away, and prep was completed quicker than a flash, so sail away again I shall. The day ended much better than yesterday too. For decorations, an easy way to utilize the space is to add these bad boys. I followed it up with 2 more lovely pictures inside. This had then earned me more than enough prestige to add some extra pricing to the drinks, as well as a 4th toilet cubicle and finally some stairs to start the next floor. Now, the game really is going to open up with way more possibilities now, so I prepped the floor and had to think hard about how I was going to approach the new floor to make sure everything will be worth it and looking nice. Once the floor was all done, I moved on to the walls, making sure to only cover around half of the stairs for now, as I think I have a plan. But first, more basic decorations to sort through before moving on. All wood looks quite pirate-like, I think. I want it to look like the inside of a ship, so this is how we start. Let's light the place up and start to plan out some tables. Make sure we splash out on the nice benches for our pirates as well. Whilst I was working, the expedition had returned containing the wonderful delights of a rough trip. I completed that bad boy and managed to unlock a nice looking new recipe called shrimp rice. I then looked over the new expeditions, but we just didn't have enough power to be able to start them. Another rough and red day to check on, but I must keep expanding with more of those benches. I changed the table color over to black too, and just look at it. As expansions continue, so does our need to service them. So I got in some waitress spots and hired up 2 more lovely ladies. Mushroom broth hitting 4 stars is nice, and so is even more precious benches and some lighting to make the place feel more cabin-like. The all-wooden look actually looks really decent. Not to ponder too long though, as the day has ended. The shrimp rice was already hitting 1 star, and the upstairs needs a few pirate banners, I think. Another 2 waitresses should keep the ship sailing. Welcome, Brenna and Loren. On day's end, we were rocking a beautiful profit to keep us afloat. To enjoy the spoils, I got cracking with a few more round tables and benches and found the perfect little place for them for now. Upstairs is starting to look fantastic. There were a bunch of new pirates for me to recruit to help me get things done, so I went with who I thought would fit in best with the rest of the scallywags. Leveled up my whole chicken to 5 stars, and my man Abe had got a promotion. With the little bit of extra cash, I made the effort to continue some piratey skull decor, purchased up some cannons on my new shiny ship, and started the prep work for an expedition that was offering a glorious new food. On day's end, it was a hefty red sight, but the plan remained. I still continued on spending what I could to increase prestige, plant after plant, and had earned a level up to my shrimp rice dish again. More pirate flags, as they were a good balance of look and prestige, then a picture of old Pegleg and a quick shuffle upstairs. It looks nice, but not quite the aesthetic I want right now. Maybe like this instead. The day ended on a solid green with no drama to worry about. I also now decided the outside needed something more. Something symmetrical and with a purpose. More plain stone, obviously. In the flow of things, the raisin cookies had leveled up to 4 stars and all the drinks needed a full top up to keep us going. The time had come during all this to finally sail away and get this new food recipe. Wish me luck, my friends, for this day has been a good one. Well, kinda. I continued to add some flair upstairs, and also a nice little anchor by the front door was needed. Don't ask me why. I spent the rest of the day shuffling little bits around, squeezing any ounce of pride out of my work, and the day came to a close with a hefty profit. Loren, you've served me well, so I reward you by reducing your salary and everyone around you. I know, but if it allows me, I will. My mushroom broth is now a wonderful 5 stars, and that expedition was finally done. It netted me the rice pudding recipe and finally some more damn treasure, baby. It was already time to get stuck into the next expedition prep, and I thought it was time to do something with rugs, as they don't take space and add a good amount of prestige. In turn, we can turn that into more money through absurd drinks prices. The day ended on nearly a 4k deficit, but this didn't matter because I am a god. Next day, the shrimp rice hit 3 stars, and I was ready to sail away with my trusty crew for a measly 1.2k. A positive outcome blessed me that night. More rugs to go, but damn, are these things ugly. A quick drink top up too. Upstairs, I continued to some of these beautiful plant pot things, and the room was really coming together. My excitement elevated at the sight of the expedition being ready to collect. This unlocked a bunch more guests coming, meaning I can raise the prices further. Not sure if I've explained this before, but for every price you increase, the amount of people coming in lowers. With the day closing off though, it was a good sight for us. My greed didn't stop here. Oh no. It was time to manipulate the wages again and again until I practically am running a slave pub over here. I'd now took it upon myself to go ahead and try to rearrange the kitchen and bar bit. It made a little bit of space for the future, and I also managed to sail away to try and get my hands on that lovely gin on offer. You must know what time it is by now. Nope, not hammer time. We shall name this rug time. A time of fluffy pleasure where all of our toes shall feel the delights as you stroll throughout what is going to be the most glorious establishment. Upstairs, it was time for another round table and chairs for the pirates, and then the day has finished off showing me that the fun must slow down sometimes. Expedition was completing up, and one of my favourite alcoholic beverages was now in my possession. I do love a good gin. It was time, I guess, for me to hit some kind of wall, as everything was going way too smooth. Every expedition basically tells me I'm too weak to continue with anything. I'd need to raise some capital to ensure the boat gets more upgrades and my pirates can do their thing. My rice pudding has got a nice little level up to 1 star though, and I got in a full rack of the gin we had unlocked too. I also managed to fiddle the gin prices up by like 30% more. At day's end, I added in a little more upstairs and pondered over the woody goodness of it all. Now, upstairs I started to lay down these smaller rugs, ugly, but take way less space than the other ones for the same prestige gain. Day finished deliciously too. As we ran into the new day, we did need to basically just save whatever money we could, so I watched, then I watched some more, and just let all the patrons enjoy everything that was before them. I had finally got enough for the next lot of cannons, so I spent the wonga on them straight away. This allowed me to get stuck straight into one of the 3 expedition preps to unlock some new tier kitchen items. Upstairs, I continued on expanding the seating area for my piratey patrons and made sure that all the black colour was ready for them. On day's end, it was a river of red and I hated it. I also used the time now to go ahead and sell off the other rugs we were using. Out on the map, it was time to go and sail away to the unknown and get the new unlock ticked off. This was a 2-day expedition though, so some patience required. Another miserable day on the balance sheet to ponder on too. Say hello to a shrimp rice that's worth 4 stars now, and a cinnamon roll's worth a whopping 5 stars too. We moved on, selling and replacing the rugs every spare moment we had. But this does quickly drain the cash reserves like you wouldn't believe. After a few more hours, we had enough money again to get topping up the goods we sell, and the day ended in a decent little profit, which was a huge surprise, I can't lie. On we went, selling and replacing, making sure to have just the right amount of money to replenish and move on. An incredibly tedious job, so here you go. Have yourself a cat for some love. After they were all placed, I was actually okay with how it looked considering. At least it's a shade of blue that goes with these sailors. After, I placed 3 more spots for the waitresses and then went ahead hiring up the 3 best we had on offer out of the 4. My day had come to a close and still red we were. I guess we can thank the rugs for that, eh? My expedition had now completed though in the next day. Some nice new kitchen gear we could sort for the champs. My Abram had earned himself a promotion, making him somewhat more speedy, and I was pretty damn happy to see a decent profit day bless us as we slowly tried to save up. The next day my rice pudding had reached 2 stars and I jumped over to the ship with my cash to get in another cannon upgrade, hopefully giving me what I need for the expeditions. Through happiness, it was enough. More of the same was upon me once more. A little bit of cash to do some of the replacement. Can you imagine my excitement? I do love the prestige as it pumps up though. Oof, that one hurt. No time to ponder though, another round of rugs is calling. It begrudged me every time I had to spend to top up my supplies. At least I was prompted to check out the expedition prep and I finally sailed away into the salty seas. My raisin cookies had hit a wonderful 5 stars now and profit did once again grace me on these tough times. Drinks were already depleted, so top-ups required once again. Here we go again. Maria, you legend. Have a promotion. And here we go. Another completed expedition awaits my collection. It was a steak, baby. So begins the next prep immediately, and I'm ready for some fun. My guys, my men, thank you for helping us sell this delicious booze to questionable piratey kinds from all over. Thank you for working in horrible conditions because I refuse to cut profits. Thank you for your slave labor you give me. There's that profit I've been talking about, followed straight away by another wonderful one. Rug sell, rug buy, rug sell, rug buy. We are well over halfway done with the floor at least though, so soon it will be a thing of the past. We were also ready to sail away on this expedition now, as all the meal preps were completed, meaning we could unlock more ingredients storage for the long term. They also decided to treat the sailors to a couple of new banners as they were looking a little bare. Worth noting now that I did forget we had unlocked some nice new decorations, including the variants of wallpaper. I splashed on the brick effect downstairs, but not totally sold on it yet. In the kitchen I went for a more cleaner style of concrete as we needed to be fireproof. I decided I didn't like the other style of brick, so went ahead and replaced it with the other, lighter colour variant. Definitely more appealing to me at least, but I'm told my designs are fairly questionable. My next step was to spend a little bit of time upstairs trialing some different variants for flooring to see how it all went together. I tried 2 different ones, and this one was much nicer. Last but not least, I slapped in some tartan mess in the 2 hotel rooms downstairs. Honestly, it's not too bad. It had been a little while of me checking in on the light situation, and it seems I could have been better. Then my day came to a close with a little bit of red knocking about. Now we had some cash to spare and the level 2 kitchen upgrade unlocks to hand. I spent a bit of time getting it done. It's especially good because you get extra portions of soup for the same ingredients used, in turn saving me a fair bit of money over time. Everything is an investment and needs to be treated as one. I continued on with a countertop in the kitchen and my steak dish had hit its first 1 whole star. Finally, I upgraded the food stores for the chefs too. The day ended as expected for the money we splashed out. My excitement was here though, as we now had got ourselves the completed expedition once again. I proceeded to make use of the cash the past day had brought in, but not by treating my staff. Oh no. I got in more benches to make them work harder. In all fairness, this is the most pleased I have ever been with this game. The simplistic nature of the pirate den upstairs was fantastic, yet clean to look at. 2.5k profit to show at the end of the day again, but still so much to earn yet. I had gained the 6.1k gold coins needed for the next set of ship cannons, so bought them bad boys, taking our power levels up to 19,500 now. I had enough to start the big preparations for the next expedition, which was yet another food recipe, and all of yesterday's profit was showing as gone on the balance sheet again. I moved on, topping up the drinks cabinets and food stores, and Gale had come to me asking for a promotion. I don't mind giving it, to be fair. You've done plenty to earn it. Prep was done and the ship was ready to set sail to earn me the special delights. I sold up more rugs again and began to go to town on replacing them over and over. Finally, downstairs was free for me to soak in the band for a little bit. But not for too long, as there were still more rugs to replace. More and more as the money came in, it was gone as quick, buying me these luxurious blue goodies. Day complete, not too much to be concerned with. Without a moment's notice, the shrimp rice had hit 5 stars, and my ruggy adventures continued. Almost there now. Oh yes, here we go. The expedition was complete, netting me some ramen and yet another piece of treasure. All 6 nets you a total of 20k bonus. So, we're getting close. Turns out though, we already had a ring. Up next, the rice pudding hits 3 stars and I got stuck straight back into getting ruggy, selling and buying until another row was complete. At the end of the day, it was still in a surplus, which is always great when you think you've spent a lot. I topped up all the drinks, sat and watched for a bit, and topped up the drinks again. The saving was going well, just serving and topping up. Quickly now, the steak was at 2 stars, and I'd earned enough to get the next set of cannons on the ship as well. This wasn't enough to get the next expedition unlocked for a bigger ship though, which was a shame. Oof, negative 4k after splashing out on the cannons. Here we go. Have a cat again. The ramen had already reached its first star, and I decided to purchase up another round table and benches for downstairs, swiftly followed by an immense amount of rugging again. The final pieces are about to go in, and here we go. Finally. Looks very average, I can't lie. Day's end shows a pleasant figure still, which only means one thing. More purchases are in order, so I went about detailing some extra benches and selling couples of bits of junk. Now I had enough visitors to manipulate the price ever so slightly, finishing the day out once again in a nice bit of green. I continued on by adding in a bit more flair for the sailors, and then had saved enough yet again to get my hands on the final ship upgrade and get cracking with the expedition prep. It required 72 steaks though, which is a hell of a lot. I watched and waited eagerly as my chefs just stood there. My guess is gawking at the waitresses. Silly men. They finished off though, and the negative is on display. I blame the chefs. The next day, I recouped some losses as they were working again, so I topped everything up and earned myself a nice 2-star on the ramen too. Okay, let's spend some money on a decorative cannon, because why not? Looks pretty cool as they are coming up the stairs, I think. A nice new pirate banner and a couple of ropes each side are nice too. Lastly, an anchor on the entrance wall to upstairs to finalize this room for now. Looks amazing, to be honest. I quickly decided to get some outer walls painted and looking a certain way. It started with brick up top, but I liked it enough to get it all the way around. This is the way. Ignore the fact we still have no windows though, okay? Steak had now reached 3 stars already, and I shuffled the ropes to add in a new sailor banner for them. Goodbye another day. I did replace the underfloor that was going on under all of our rugs. This would hopefully allow them to blend in a tiny bit more. I think it worked. In a bid to raise the prestige as much as I could, I wanted to get some kind of weird awning hanging on the side of the upper floor. They took no space and are 500 gold each. I also got in a second grill to speed up the prep for expeditions and upgraded another soup cauldron. 2 more awnings bought, and they didn't look overly daft at least. And a day completing in the 3rd deficit in a row. Next day, I shuffled the kitchen a tiny bit to free up something and managed to hit 4 stars on the steak. I watched and waited eagerly for the money and drinks to flow. And met the demand with 3 more waitress spots, hiring up Alice, Alyssa and Judy. Finally, I topped up the drinks again. Hey, profit finally after chilling out a little. Okay, it was about time I made some use of more of that floor space upstairs, I think. I expanded out a bit more of a section and decorated it ready. I overthink every little detail. I can't lie about that. The wood inside is a must though, because it looks incredible. Up next, I shuffled a few lights out of the way, then removed the middle section of the walls. Then, a music podium for the pirates to enjoy some tunes. I then decided on some kind of cage maybe that they can back on into. Honestly, I was just winging it to see what I could come up with. It looked nice though, so I went ahead and hired up another band of merry players, the full shebang. I finalised a few more little touches, like the flooring and some plant pots, and had noticed Lily was up for promotion. Here we are, the pirate room. I added in some more lights just above the podium and then finished out the day on what I thought was a surprising positive. We had enough patrons now to justify a slight price increase to the rum, and then it dawned on me how much we were going to just need to get the next ship upgrade. I sailed away to get it unlocked and had 3 days before it would complete. I did take the rest of the day to top stuff up and ended out in the red, which is not ideal at all. Let's get ourselves another portrait of old Bill. Legend has it he has any woman grovelling at his feet. We did manage to keep the spending down and pull in 3.2k profit for the day, which, all things considered, was a pretty big win. I couldn't last half a day before I wanted to spend the stash though, and began selling off the old tattered tables to get them replaced with shiny, new, cloth-covered delights. I even bothered to add in a bunch more, setting me back quite considerably. Up next, I made sure all of them were decorated white because I want to see how it would look alongside the rest. Kind of okay for now. After, I started selling up all of the little old barrel stools in favour of a more upmarket chair variant that would help get the prestige up further. Don't judge my spending for a moment, please. I had a plan. Alright? Well, it seems my plan was just to go ahead and spend every single penny I earn, so sorry about that. The final product wasn't all that nice to look at either. Day complete, and still 2k profit showing at least. Up next, it was time to try a little different decorations on the 2 mini hotel rooms downstairs, opting for what kind of looks like a futuristic wallpaper. Not fitting for pirates at all, but here we are. I did add this lovely picture in too. Up next, I did actually manage to complete the pirate expedition, netting the chance to upgrade the new ship for 20k. Luck had been on our side though, because they came back with another piece of the treasure too. It was going to take some time to be patient and get that 20k, so let's get on with it. Here you go. Enjoying one of the cool features the game has to offer. Quite frankly, every builder game needs this. It just adds to everything. Just a simple little walking option to see what you've built, you know? Alright, back at the grind, and with that we needed to get the upstairs expanded a little bit more again. I had a bit of a plan for each side, just to tick us over a fair bit more, but first, the foundation needs to be set. I went on for a bit, fiddling and tweaking from doors to windows. These were going to be some upmarket hotel rooms to try and offset the negative that comes every night. From bricks, to trellis walls, to spacey style darkness. We tried it all, eventually settled on what we thought was acceptable. After, it was on to the lighting, then some fancy beds and everything it needed to charge through the eyeballs for a night in the room. Even getting in the fancy curtains. The day ended on a hefty negative from all the spending, but we will make it up. I went on and tried to make up some money, and had to keep topping up the drinks constant as they were flying off the shelves. A sight for sore eyes if ever I did see one. I'd forgotten for a bit to go in and manipulate the wages of all the staff. As you can see, we were over 1.2k per day on them. I dropped everyone by nearly 4 gold, all whilst managing to keep them happy. Then it was time to run upstairs with some ugly rugs to get more prestige. I know, I'm supposed to be saving for the ship, but I just can't help myself. My steak dish had already reached the max of 5 stars now, and the profit was still showing on the board at least. The next day I changed a few things around downstairs, from ropes to sailor banners, and then got back to it by placing even more rug squares down in the pirate lounge. My ramen was now 3 stars and still in the green, albeit a low profit for now. I spent some more of my earnings getting the second hotel room kitted out upstairs, and wanted to fully mirror the other one, because why the hell not? I then priced the room at 338 gold a night, offsetting more salary spend for each day. Here it is though, the upstairs. And actually, the rugs and all that aren't really that bad if I'm honest. A measly profit to end the day on, but still enough to keep us clear of the bottom line. I made use of more spare cash by continuing on with the desperate placement of all the rugs. Things were good, and we were almost halfway done up here too. I decided to do a bit of shuffling to better utilise the space downstairs, and then just soaked in the piratey ambiance upstairs for a bit. I once again manipulated the salaries on a full downward trend, dropping them by another 150 gold or so for the day, then ended up on a nice 3k gold profit at the end of the day too. The whole of the next day I kinda just sat watching the money go up, topping up the drinks as soon as they were getting low. Then, yet another 3k finish. I sat for another day, resisting the urge to spend the pennies as they came in. Over halfway, we were flying up with each purchase. Look at that line of green for days on end. Go me. I did also notice we had a few more pirates to decide to spend the night in the new rooms too. The next day I watched, contemplated, and thought hard on what I was doing. Just kinda waiting for more money to flow to be honest, whilst trying to come up with some creative ideas for later. Slowly but surely, the money kept rising. Another profit of glorious proportions, then straight into manipulating all of the salaries again, just because I can, and they are still happy enough to work for less and less. My rice pudding was now hitting 4 stars, and we'd finally hit the damn 20k we needed for the ship. I eagerly purchased it, and the ship looked fantastic. With it came quite the upgrades to sort too. We now had the ability to start prepping for an expedition again, meaning even more goodies to unlock. On day's end, I felt almost sick at the hefty negative before my eyes, but we all know why. Say hello to a 4-star ramen, and yes, a bunch more of greyish-brown ugly rugs to increase the prestige. It's going to take a while before I feel good about that ship spending though, isn't it? The next day I continued to make sure all was running smoothly in the bar, and had now prepped everything to go ahead and set sail again for 1.2k. Onward we go with more ugliness across the board, coming mighty close to closing this off for much more exciting ventures. I continued the salary manipulating, well down for another 200 gold almost, taking us way under the 1k mark now. Honestly, I reckon I can get it all the way down to the pennies at this rate. Day ended pretty solid again too. I got myself the very first storage upgrade sorted on the big ship, added some barrels to the front, then the time had come to complete off the expedition, unlocking some oatmeal. Things continued on at great pace, topping up the drinks as we went, whilst watching money come in, with more brown rugs. I also had enough to get another storage upgrade on the sides that was some hanging bag things, and this gave me enough power to continue prepping for another expedition. That would unlock tier 3 kitchen items. The next day was a stormy one, so I put my time to good use by doing some accounting, stripping every person of their livelihood and earnings, dropping the salary cost all the way down even more. I was now all ready to sail away for another 2 days in search of the glorious kitchen items upgrade and finalise the day ready for bed once more. I woke up with a fresh dose of determination because today was the day I was going to place all of these damn rugs down. Finally, they were complete. I took a moment to watch and absorb the full changes we had committed to the place. It's funny how these games work, isn't it? 1 minute you have nothing, then after a few hours you really have opened up your creative energy. It's kind of what keeps me coming back. Day's end and a nice little profit again though, and the afternoon of the next day had me buying up the next bit of storage we could afford as well. I eagerly awaited for my expedition to end off, and I claimed the spoils of some new kitchen kit options we could get. It was only now that I realised though that we had so much more room for more pirates and way better ones to choose from. I could get more power and ultimately increase my chances of finding the treasure too. Here we go. I now had a 40% chance of finding treasure and a 35% increase to total power too. It would obviously cost me more to upkeep them, but worth it. Because of this, we now had the pick of expeditions to choose from. Another day done. After all of my messing, resulting in a tasty profit, I promoted Shay and then used the time wisely to go ahead and strip them all of their wages once more, reducing the total by another 150 or so gold. The hotel rooms we made were a perfect size for some long runner rugs, and my oatmeal hit 1 star. I once again took a stroll through everything we had created, and honestly, it was quite the feat so far. I was far enough along where I felt I could purchase silly things and make the money back pretty quickly. The lads and lasses working out back looked awesome, and all of the rest of the floor looked awesome too. Looking at this pirate on the wrong floor though, ready for bed, bless him. I finished off the 100th day in style with a lovely profit for multiple days running. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you've made it this far, go ahead and do me the honors of subscribing, and do check out the rest of the videos on my channel. With each video, I strive to make everything better than the last. And going forward, I'll be naming people in the game based on Patreon or channel memberships, so do check out those if you want to live on forever throughout one of my videos. As always, take it easy. Lons out.